Good evening, everybody. Shadow and Snowstorm here, and I suppose it's time for us to do a little bit of an introduction video, just so we're not these nameless faces you're enjoying watching fail.
Dick.
So,
That was my kill.
my kill-stealing powers. So, I guess I'll get us started off. Hi, as I just said, my name is Shadow. I'm a junior in high school. Live in Florida. That's all you need to know for now. You'll probably learn a little bit more along the journey that is going to be this channel.
Yep.
I gotta say, of all time, something I've always loved, my favorite game has to be Conker's Bad Fur Day, just because that was kind of the first, what the heck game is this? That really got me into the types of game I play now.
Really, Cockers?
Yeah, Conkers. First M-rated game I was ever allowed to play.
I actually, I'm Snowy. I live in Florida. I am not in high school, but I am actually starting college for psychology. And I would probably say, if you want to do M-rated games, my first M-rated game was actually Grand Theft Auto.
Not surprised about that. That's a lot of people's firsts.
Except mine was kind of... I used to play with my cousin Mikey all the time, and my mom...
I'm gonna get the kill. Boom! Did I get it? No, I didn't!
You know, you probably could have kept shooting him, right?
No, I was gonna die.
Anyway. Yeah, that was probably my first game, and believe it or... Not my first game. My first M-rated game, and I was like 5 at the time, and me and Mikey used to play it all the time. But... Moving on. My favorite game of all time. That's a tough one.
Your middle tower is under attack.
I would probably say Sonic. Just because I've always been a fan of the speed factor. And, there was never really... When I was growing up, we had Atari and we had Mario. And the first time I got to play Sonic, my mom had actually got Sonic 3 Collection for the PC. And what that had was the original Sonic 3 that had the game with Knuckles in it, and then it had the whole collection, and that really got me hooked on it, and she said it was too hard, so she gave it to me.
Sounds like your mom. Never seen her as much of a gamer.
Believe it or not, she likes a lot of those Find It games.
I used to like those. They kept me entertained when I had nothing else to do. Alright, let's see. What's another good topic to bring up? Favorite childhood game is one. My favorite childhood game. This is actually the first game I was ever, when I was old enough to play games, this is the first game I ever played. Not really dating myself with this one, and this is probably a lot of people's, favorite childhood game, but Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. That was, since I was little, I was, able to hold the controller, I was playing Legend of Zelda, because it was kind of just like this, it's this, fantasy factor of you're playing, you don't even really know any of the backstory. All you know is you wake up one day and you've got this, this quest you have to do, and it's just, they did the game so well, in my opinion. It was more, the graphics weren't great, it was glitchy as all get out if you got one of the first editions like I did before they fixed everything. It was just, this idea that for, an hour at a time, I could be somebody else. I could go do something, worthwhile. Save the princess.
Yeah.
Oh god, this argument again.
Save the princess.
Save
it reminds me of that, what was that TV show that was on a few years ago? Heroes?
Maybe, I don't know.
Save the cheerleader, save the world. That was a big thing my parents were into when I was younger. They would watch every episode. Another thing was Lost. My favorite childhood game... It really kind of depends, honestly. Because I had a few. A big one for me was Mario Party.
Get the mirror, I will.
You can get him.
Boom!
Big thing for me was Mario Party, because it was just a lot of times where me and my cousins would get together, and we'd get angry at each other for cheating in the mini games.
I was good at the mini games.
I was too, but it's just you always have that one guy who's just gonna be that, he's that guy and he's played the mini games like 3,000 times before, so he knows all like the little cheap tricks and shit. And I don't know, it was just a big thing that we would do, is we would always get really mad at someone who would play all the mini games. And another thing we played was actually, you had a N64, right?
Yeah,
Did you ever get any of the James Bond games for it?
I think I did. I think I had Golden Gun or whatever that one was.
It was a big one, it was GoldenEye. My cousin Bo had that, and he liked it, and he would always set us
I
up.
couldn't get the double kill.
Nope. And he would always set it up so we would play the game, and we would play against bots, and Mikey, who always got mad because we always killed him. And that was just a big thing for us, was pretty much anything on the N64.
Yeah. A little bit more. Favorite game type and favorite game series. Alright, this one I'm gonna probably get a little bit of hate for. I cannot stand shooter games. Yet I'm saying that while playing, Smite, a tower defense shooter game. I don't see how people get entertained by, like, Call of Duty or anything like that. It's just not my thing.
Yeah,
But
the multiplayer on Call of Duty, I have Modern Warfare 3, and that's the only Modern Warfare game I ever owned, and I like the survival game mode that you play single player, but I hate everything else about it. The community sucks, everyone's a dick, and I just don't get what the big thing is about, I don't understand it.
Xbox Live, learning who all your mother has slept with. But my favorite game type is going along with Legend of Zelda. I love fantasy games. It's a little bit of distraction if you haven't had that great of a day, because you can
Be
do
someone else for
anything.
once.
Yeah. You ever play Champions of Norath, Snowy?
I actually did once.
That was my kind of fantasy game, because it helped me look at it like I'm doing something, and I'm helping, I'm saving the community, and I get to decide what I do next. And it was just, I liked the freedom of being able to say, oh, well, I don't want to do that, so I'm going to go do this.
Like Skyrim.
Like Skyrim, I love Skyrim. Holy Jesus, I could spend an entire video talking about my obsession with Skyrim.
Yeah, he obsessed over it over winter break. It was hard to get a hold of him.
I was either doing that or playing World of Warcraft. More fantasy games that I'm probably going to get a bunch of hate for, but I don't care.
A lot of
And
people
my
like World of Warcraft.
Yeah, my favorite game series is Mario. I've been sitting here like obsessing over Legend of Zelda, but just gotta give it to the Italian plumber.
The Italian plumber who runs like a black man, jumps like a Mexican, looks like a white man, and
Made by the Japanese and is somehow Italian.
yeah.
Don't be racist. Be Mario.
Don't be racist. Be Mario. I like that.
Coming in
Use
here,
that.
steal my kills, bro. Just gonna. Ah, I almost got him. Alright, I have money. I'm gonna go back.
Yep. Oh, my favorite game type. Let's see. There's a list, but I'd have to say strategy games. And the big thing for me was, when I was younger, there was this game that I seen in the store. It was, the Command & Conquer Generals series. And at the time, I had no idea what it was. I was just like, hey, game, let's play this. I need something else to keep my mind. Drop speed buff for you. I was like, I need something to keep my mind occupied. Well, at the time, I didn't know anything about it. I was just like, hey, what am I doing here? And
You asshole! Ah, you asshole!
and it was, don't worry, I'm not going to steal your kills anymore. I'm already buffed. And just the ability to create and spend units and have these massive armies under my control was just a big thing for me, because being a kid who doesn't have much to do, not many friends, not many people who want to hang out with me, and you get to be this guy who everyone listens to for once. It's like you give the order, and this town's destroyed, and this town's destroyed, and this town's destroyed, and this town doesn't exist anymore, and it was just a big thing.
Just gonna
And
drop the here.
let's see, what else is there to talk about?
Here's the big one, and I think we should end our video on this. Why did we start this channel? What was your inspiration for actually building up this channel? Oh, let's let the Phoenix survive, so we have some more time just to keep doing the video.
Well, I honestly don't know. You know, when I was younger, I found out what Let's Plays were, and it was my first time exploring the internet, and I was like, oh, hey, I can do this and that, and these people do this, and they're so much better than I am at doing this. Well, you know,
Yeah.
it just turned out to be like, hey, I want to be able to do this one day. I want people to enjoy what, you know, I put out there, and maybe care if I have, like, an opinion on something. And, you know, at the end of the day, I just want people to experience the same joy I do.
My reason's a bit like that. I'm not great at video games. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say I'm some master gamer who never screws up and never fails at anything. I suck at video games. I honestly do.
As he speaks with a legendary skin.
Hard to get, unless you do what I did and just grind like crazy. But, it's kind of just like the... I've gotten so much enjoyment from watching Let's Plays and watching people play these games, and I've gotten introduced to so many games that by myself I probably never would have played. I got introduced to Final Fantasy from watching Let's Plays. I learned by watching Let's Plays, which makes no sense, but I have. I learned a lot about, gonna do some name dropping here like I always do in these videos. Chugga Conroy was one of the biggest people I ever, looked at when I thought about doing a gaming channel, and it's just the fact of you can show people, hey, look at this game that I love, and here's why you should love it too. And it's... Some people watch you play the games because they can just enjoy a game that they by themselves may never be able to play, but they can see somebody else do it, and it's really a social thing. You get connected with these people that watch you play, and they're laughing at you screwing up, but, they can feel your pain when
Yeah, because a lot of people who sometimes watch these games actually played the games themselves as children and just want to relive that past because maybe they can't anymore.
And that's one of the things I want to do. I want to try to, if we can, I want to get a ROM version, or even just figure out a way to record my N64, do a playthrough of me, failing at Legend of Zelda because I still suck at that game.
Legend of Zelda is not an easy game to beat. Ever.
Yeah. Anybody who ever says that just isn't playing properly.
I remember the first one that I played, and that was back on the days of Nintendo, because I grew up like an 80s kid, I didn't have a Nintendo 64, I didn't have, all this newfangled equipment like the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One.
Back in my day.
And I don't want to sound like that, like, I'm putting anyone down. I was born in the 90s, and I was raised like I was in the 80s. My parents were big fans of, like, classic rock music. Well, it's because my parents were into classic rock music, and my mom loved the Atari, so I always played that. And, it was a fun time. And then there was, oh god, what's that other system that a lot of people didn't have? I had a CDI.
I have no clue what that is.
It is the worst game system, I think, to date.
God.
And, I mean, they had things like Hotel Mario and whatnot on there. And they had like 3 Legend of Zelda games, 3 or 4 different Legend of Zelda games, and all of them sucked hard. So, there was a lot that I had, and a lot that I didn't have, because the first actual modern gaming console I ever got was a GameCube. And I didn't ask for it. I literally just opened it up on my birthday. Yeah, my mom got it for me because she thought it'd be cool. And I remember spending hours on it. And it came with oh god, what's that game that I play all the time? It was Smash Bros. The Melee. It came with Smash Bros. Melee. And, my friends were all talking about it, because Luke, in particular, he had a Nintendo 64, and I would always play that with him, when I could. And he said, "Oh my God, you have Smash Bros. Let's play Smash Bros." But I actually wasn't that interested in it at the time. I was actually really into Sonic Adventure 2. You know, that was the big game that I had for the Nintendo, and I just couldn't put it down.
Well, I think that's a good explanation.
You know,
Who we are and what we're doing this for. We got a little bit of time before we can drop Titan. I got one. Let's give them a little bit of a sneak peek of what all we're going to be getting into. And this is just, we've sat down and we've thought this over, and it's
too many times.
too many times. We've so many scrap recordings of us trying to do something. Okay, well, this thing's still alive. Well, nope, you don't get any teaser of what we're going to be doing. You just got to wait and find out. But no. I think the three biggest things we're going to be doing is, as you've seen now, we're going to be playing Smite. Probably a lot. That's going to be like a good chunk of our videos. We're going to get into a Minecraft Let's Play. We're going to get into, you know, like, maybe get into Terraria if that's one of the things we feel like doing. Don't get your hopes up. Terraria is very difficult to play, and God, it's got to be even harder to commentate over.
Yeah, because a lot of time you spend your time mining resources and fighting bosses, and you just don't have a lot of things to talk about. And if you do, then, you know, more power to you. I don't.
Yeah. Personally, you know, I'd like to get up some videos of just, like, little silly games we find on the internet. And honestly, this is going to be... It's going to be 100% about what our viewers want us to do, what you guys want us to sit down and do.
99.9%.
Yeah, once we get, like, all of these things up and we get a growing fan base, we're going to leave it open to what we do next. I mean, both of us have Steam accounts, and I mean, Steam sales make it so easy to get games. If there's a game you want to see us play,
just let us know.
Send us a message. Tell us about it. Just tell us about this game, and we'll
do our best to
check
get
it out. I mean, if you're asking us to sit here and play Modern Warfare 3, you've heard that both of us really don't like that game.
If you want to, I will, but I will play survival.
I probably will sit there beside you dying, because I suck at first-person shooters. But, I guess that's a good, decent-length introduction video. As we hope to see you guys again for,
what's to come?
Snowy's next video. I think he's already got one planned. He already has one up.
Yep, Defender Quest.
I'm Shadow.
I'm Snowy.
Thanks for your time.
And see you later.